With the money printer back on, as you can see in the M2 money supply right here, Bitcoin is in a bull market. And in today's video, guys, we are going to have a look at the Bitcoin 4-year cycle. And I'm going to show you in today's video on where Bitcoin most likely will top if we were to follow a regular 4-year cycle. So it's very important that you save this video, or that you at least save the date that I'm presenting in this video, because the chances of Bitcoin topping at this specific date is very, very high, especially if we haven't followed some conditions, which I'm going to explain to you in today's video as well. So this might be one of the most important videos where you say like, okay, it's nice to have the information right now. It is about a future event, but in that future time, you really want to get reminded to this video. So guys, let's jump straight into it, okay? For the ones that are not familiar with a 4-year cycle in Bitcoin, well, the 4-year cycle theory actually goes as follows. We have a green zone and we have a red zone, and both of them combined is one 4-year cycle. And the green zone is a upwards trend and the red zone is a downwards trend. And what we often see, or actually in Bitcoin's historical price pattern right now, from its history, from its invention, is that we have a 3 years uptrend followed by a 1-year downtrend. So we go 3 years up, 1 year down. So here we can see that very clearly. We go 3 years up till the month 33, and then we go down till the month 46. So the next bull market actually was the same. We go 3 years up, we go 1 year down. 1 year bear market. Then we go 3 years up. The previous bull market, it was exactly the same. We topped around that 34-month mark, and then we come back down roughly at the 46 month. We had the low again. So far Bitcoin has just been following this 4-year cycle perfectly. And if you would know early on about these cycles, you most likely would have outperformed most institutions out there, because this is kind of crazy. If you would just like sold your Bitcoin right here, bought back right here, sold your Bitcoin at roughly $20,000 US, let's give it 2000 room, so you would sell it at 18,000, buy back at 3,000, well, you would have made so much profits, and then sold back at 68,000. Because this timing, guys, is crazy how accurate this is. This is like almost accurate on the month or accurate on the week where Bitcoin is going to top. So when is the next top of Bitcoin going to occur? That is a very important question, because we have seen so far a 1-year decline in the Bitcoin price, right? We have seen most likely the 4-year cycle low. We have been talking about that right here on the channel as well. Right here, we went all in again. All our money, all our stables went back into Bitcoin. I've made some tweets about that. I've announced that right here on the channel as well, that this is the moment that we are going to go all in again, which we also actually did right here. Both of them turned out to be very successful, but I have a very difficult time taking profits when I'm having all these gains. So this is one of the things I really want to learn. That's why I'm so obsessed with these dates and cycles, because these dates and cycles, they can help me to bring me back into perspective when we are in the middle of the storm. That is very important, because right here, guys, nobody wants to sell because everyone is extremely bullish, right? But that's exactly at the top. Here also, nobody wanted to sell. Everyone is extremely bullish, and then we just enter a 1-year bear market. That is basically a little bit how it works. You will have everyone around you to be extremely, extremely bullish, and you gotta be the one that says like, okay, right now I'm thinking we are seeing a Bitcoin top, so I'm going to take my profits. You will look like a fool in the first weeks or months that you actually took profits. You will, maybe in the first weeks then, you will look like a fool, and people will tell you that you are a fool because they are also bullish. That's just the market sentiment. That belongs to the market, the part of the cycle, part of the market cycle that we are then right here, extreme euphoria, right? So that is something we have to take into consideration as well. So if we right now would draw the green box right here And we would put that from the low right there. Let me zoom out a little bit because we have like two green boxes. We have like, you have like 33 or 34 months. Let's just go with 34 because 34 has been occurring 2 times. So it might be a little bit earlier than this exact month, but maybe also not, right? Maybe we just replicate the 34 month mark. So that means that you can ignore this yellow and this red zone. I will explain later about these two zones. But this green zone is basically the whole bull market for Bitcoin. If we just follow a regular 4-year cycle, right? And if you have a look at this blue rising channel, then most likely we will go to the top of the channel in the within that topping period, right? So we have here 3 years going up starting from November 2022, which means that Bitcoin will top from a regular 4-year cycle at the end of, between the middle and end of 2025. So that is quite crazy. That is quite crazy because we still have quite some time for that to happen, right? And if we were to replicate the previous bull markets, guys, then Bitcoin could be at a level trading, if we just draw this channel a little bit higher, and this is a really crazy number, guys. This is 468,000 US dollars. So roughly said, guys, the regular 4-year cycle with the structure that we are seeing right here with the blue rising channel basically predicts right here that if we were to follow a regular 4-year cycle, Bitcoin could be at 500,000 US dollars per Bitcoin in 2025. At the end of 2025. This is extremely bullish. Extremely bullish. But is this realistic? That's another question. Is this realistic? If you ask me, personally, I have a different opinion. I think it's possible. It's definitely possible that Bitcoin trades at 500,000 US dollars October 2025. But for sure, the buying power that you have with 500,000 right now or 500,000 in 2025, if Bitcoin trading is trading at that level, is way lower. So 500,000 right now is a different 500,000 in 2025 if Bitcoin will be trading. Because if Bitcoin will be trading at $500,000 per coin, it means that the dollar is losing so significant value that people are fleeing to safe havens like Bitcoin. So that is also these are all things you got to take into consideration, right? But nevertheless, guys, it is a decent possibility that this is playing out. How crazy it sounds. There is a decent possibility that Bitcoin follows a regular 4-year cycle, maybe tops, let's make it really a rough estimate, between 300 and 500 US dollars in 2025. It is possible. And it's not that far-fetched. It's just following what Bitcoin has been doing for the past 10 years. If we just continue this trajectory, then yeah, Bitcoin will be trading at between 300 and 500,000 in 2025. But there's another thesis, guys. That is another thesis which might be more realistic, which I'm going to talk about right now. But I'm first going to show you, if you want to know when Bitcoin is going to top, you can actually use a tool for that. And that is Whale Portal. If you go to whaleportal.com and you click right here on data and you click on Bitcoin cycles, you can basically see exactly right here where Bitcoin is trading in the 4-year cycle. So for example, here we have the 4-year cycle. Then we can see we are right now on month 8 and 20 days since the low that we have seen in November 2022. So once this yellow dot goes into this red zone right here, that is the moment that we are going to see, based on a regular 4-year cycle, a top in the Bitcoin price. So it is very handy to every now and then to check in on whaleportal.com and go to these Bitcoin cycles. It's completely for free and you can see exactly where Bitcoin is trading within that 4-year cycle. So maybe you need to set some alarms for yourself that you can watch this chart maybe in a year, At least this page, this website offers a lot of different things which you can use as well. But now I want to go to the another thesis, guys. This is really entertaining market thoughts, right? Because a regular 4-year cycle would be extremely bullish and would actually not be out of the ordinary if we look at Bitcoin's historical price action. But we right now are in a market which is already, the market has already seen quite a lot of adoption, right? We have seen already a lot of liquidity entering the markets. There is more liquidity, don't get me wrong, but we have seen already a lot of liquidity entering the markets. So a lot of people are already aware of the 4-year cycle. There is already a lot of liquidity in the markets. Do we have enough fuel left to make another 4-year cycle? Is that the case? Well, the other thesis that I'm talking about right here on the channel, guys, is the 16-year cycle. And that is basically, I'm going to try to explain it very, very simple, but that means that Bitcoin exists of 4 4-year cycles, which we have 1 4-year cycle, 2 4-year cycles, 3 4-year cycles right now in the last 4-year cycle. The only thing with the last 4-year cycle is that the green and red box are flipped, which means, and this is quite crazy, guys, which means that Bitcoin will have a very shortly lived bull market, this bull market, which will be followed by a multi-year long bear market where most likely most people are not prepared for, and including me, not yet. So that is a thought that I'm entertaining recently right here on the channel. Actually, already since we are at these lower levels, we have been talking about that we're expecting Bitcoin to really go explosive into this bull market. So far, we have done that already. We have already been coming quite explosive into this bull market. Some guys, they thought that, yeah, Bitcoin might move sideways for 1 year. But yeah, so far we haven't really seen that. We have seen already quite a nice explosive move to the upside. But like I said, the 16-year cycle is basically flipped. So that means that we have a shortly lived bull market right here, which can still reach like new all-time highs and crazy hypes and stuff, followed by a multi-year long bear market where Bitcoin is really going to see really lower levels, going below the bear market low that we have seen the previous bear market at $15,000. Maybe Bitcoin can even go back to $10,000. Guys, I know this sounds very, very bearish, and don't get me wrong, I'm very bullish on Bitcoin on a longer term time frame. But I also want to be realistic right here. And you can see already that if we just look at the structure of this trend, we can see that it's accelerating, but it's accelerating at a lower pace. So guys, you can compare this with a stone bouncing on the water. And the first bounce is really strong. Bam. The second bounce is also strong, but less than the first one. The third one is also less strong. And that is because for every bounce, we need more and more liquidity, right? So we can see already a trend right here. And that trend is that the momentum to the upside is basically slowing down. So in that case, if you would insert that information into the equation, in my opinion, it will be less likely for Bitcoin to reach like $400,000 to $500,000 by 2025. Still, like I'm saying, it's not impossible, and I'm definitely going to be prepared for that. But I'm also going to be prepared for a different situation. And let me explain to you how you can basically prepare for that. Well, first of all, you can check, of course, on Whale Portal. You can also view the 16-year cycle, which we are clearly a little bit closer. But clearly, this bar represents 16 years and this bar represents 4 years. So this one will go faster than this one. But we are approaching that red zone in the 16-year cycle. And what we could be doing in a 16-year cycle, or if we want to confirm the 60-year cycle, we basically need to break above the previous all-time high either this year or the beginning of next year. So we have this green zone, which is then most likely the bull market, and we have the yellow zone as a possible extension. So at the end of the green zone or the beginning of the yellow zone, we can just actually look at the yellow zone. At the yellow zone, if Bitcoin were to make new all-time highs we do something like this, and we go up right here in the yellow zone, then that is for me a confirmation that most likely we are seeing a 16-year cycle, and that this will be followed by a multi-year long bear market. That is for me very clear in terms of risk management. If we have such a acceleration surpassing previous all-time highs in a short-term time frame aligning with the 16-year cycle, I'm going to take profits. I will announce that right here on the channel. Make sure to subscribe, and you also can see that with the 16-year cycle over on Whale Portal. But if we do something else, let's say Bitcoin maybe goes up right here, has a correction, then right here we trending up, maybe we go like here, we are going above the all-time high, maybe at the end of 2024, and then we're gonna see that acceleration. Then yes, that second scenario right here makes me more it makes it more likely that the regular 4-year cycle is playing out, right? But both of these cycles are very easily validated and invalidated based on time, right? So if we have this year a very quick acceleration of Bitcoin going into this yellow zone, surpassing all-time highs, and so on, the chances increase of a 16-year cycle, and the chances definitely increase of a multi-year long bear market. And I don't know if you still can remember this bear market, but it was quite rough. And if you want to survive something like this with a magnitude of 3 or 4, you really have to be prepared. Most bear market, most people get slaughtered, so this is really something you got to take action basically. But like I said, if we do something like this where Bitcoin would right now go to 40k, maybe even a little bit higher, maybe we can even go to 50k, we correct a little bit, we come back down, maybe we even capitulate one time to this uptrend, slowly grind up again, and then surpass that all-time high maybe in like late 2024, then yes, then that for me the 16-year cycle is invalidated, and then most likely we're going to follow a regular 4-year cycle. Then I'm going to watch again October 2025. I hope you guys can understand how easy this is to validate and invalidate, because if we just don't surpass all-time highs this year and we don't accelerate to that point this year, then yeah, most likely we're not in the 16-year cycle. But at least we are aware of it, so if this plays out, you are warned and you can actually take action. And guys, I think the 16-year cycle will really be for most people a huge surprise, because that means that we are going to surpass the previous all-time high before the halving event. And most people, they confuse the 4-year cycles with the halving of Bitcoin. They think that has an impact, but yeah, that basically doesn't have an impact, at least not anymore. And here you can see that the halving based on the average block generation is roughly at 27 of April 2024. So that will be right here. So that means that we already surpassed that all-time high before that halving event. So then you will hear a lot of people talking about the super cycle of Bitcoin, and wow, if we already have the all-time high reclaimed before that time, we might even break out of this blue channel and stuff. But in my opinion, it just increases the likelihood of the 16-year cycle, and is increasing the risk for potential downside, right? Like, I mean, if we have a short-term acceleration right here, the higher we go in the shorter term time frame, the higher the risk for a severe correction that is coming. So this is basically the two scenarios that I'm watching. And yeah, I would say on both of these dates, be very aware of what Bitcoin is doing. Check the cycles over on whaleportal.com. Bookmark this website. Set some alarms in your phone to check whether we are trading in this red zone or not. And check what Bitcoin is doing with the price. So guys, I hope you can appreciate this video where I'm explaining exactly where Bitcoin most likely will top based on the 4-year cycle, but also of course based on the 16-year cycle. If you learned anything, if you like this video, make sure to drop a thumbs up, guys. And if you are new to the channel, you want to stay connected, you want to be updated on these cycles, make sure to subscribe down below and to hit the bell icon so you get notified whenever I upload new information on these cycles. Guys, I want to thank you all for watching, wish you all a beautiful day, and hope to see every single one of you in the next video.